Hi there. So this is just a quick little video kind of going over how to use one of these AMES guides. It's got a whole lot of dots. Each of these rows of dots is slightly differently spaced. And a lot of the spacing difference has to do with the height of the full caps versus the height of the lowercase letters. You can see these little parentheses connect the cap to the baseline. And then what's between them is the lowercase letter. This one, the lowercase letters are a little bit shorter. And on this bottom one, the lowercase letters are closer to the cap height. And the middle row, everything is just evenly spaced. And for most of what I do, I don't use lowercase letters. So I kind of just stick with this one here with the evenly spaced dots. It means that I don't have to keep track of whether I'm drawing a cap height or a baseline. I can just use these nicely evenly spaced dots. You can change the height of your lines by rotating this thingy. And it does give you a little indicator down at the bottom. You can see there's some numbers and then there's a little notch that kind of points at it. I usually keep mine between 3 and 4. If I'm drawing a larger page, I will shift it so it's about 4.5, but I usually keep it really close in this range. And I don't actually change it that much, which is why I have this little piece of tape here. And then to use it, you have to have your panel sort of drawn out already. You grab a T-square. Often I'll take a little bit of time and make sure that my piece of paper is oriented correctly so that I get lines that are parallel with my panel borders. You know, scoot it around, make sure it's lined up properly. I've hooked the edge of the T-square over the edge of my table so I can slide it up and down easily. And then I plop my AMES guide on top of the T-square. And then as I move it up and down, I can change its position pretty easily. So I'm starting with the first of this little, the first dot in this evenly spaced row. And I put my pencil in and then I just drag it back and forth. I get a nice little line. And then I'm going to skip a dot because that's my lowercase letters and go straight to the baseline. And then I'm going to go 1 dot, and that's the space between my lines of text. And then I skip a dot, and then I don't skip a dot. And then I skip a dot, and then I don't skip a dot. And that gives me 3 lines of text. And to add additional lines, we just scoot this down and line up the first dot with the last line that I've drawn. And then I continue on my merry way. So skip a dot, don't skip. Skip a dot, don't skip. So this is just a really, really fast way to add some lines for text wherever you need them without having to spend a lot of time like making little tick marks. It's just a lot quicker. And then you just do your regular lettering and make sure that it always touches the top line and always touches the bottom line. It's going to say, hey, you. Now it says, hey, you jerk. I love you. Okay, hope that helps.